What's going on, YouTube? Appalachian Smoke Wagon here with another video. Join the wagon train. Subscribe, like, leave me a comment. Today we're going to talk about the movie Civil War. I finally got to see it yesterday after work. I've been waiting on this movie for a long time. And I went to the theater yesterday and sat down and watched it. I'll tell you what I thought about it here towards the end. I'm going to go through a few things. It starts off, you follow a group of journalists. I'm not going to do any spoilers. I'm just going to kind of touch on a few things and what I thought, and we'll go from there. So you follow a small group of journalists. It starts in New York, and there's a bunch of conflict in New York and bombs, and it's crazy to see New York just being destroyed like that. It's kind of surreal seeing America being destroyed like that, which it's been being destroyed as we speak in real life, but just not to that degree yet. But so they're leaving New York to take a trip to DC to interview the president, but they can't take a straight shot route because there's so much conflict. It's really dangerous in some towns. Like, I think it mentions Philly's like super bad, so they have to circle around that, and they actually have to circle around and come through West Virginia, which is my state, hence Appalachian Smoke Wagon. I'm from West Virginia, born and raised, and I thought it was really cool they go through West Virginia. But you can tell they're not in West Virginia because there's no mountains in West Virginia. No matter what direction you look, you see mountains. So they weren't in West Virginia, of course, but in the movie they were in West Virginia. And they come to a gas station to get fuel. And I think she's like, we'll give you $300 for a tank of gas. And there's 3 armed militiamen or civilians or good old boys or whatever you want to say, but 3 armed guys with AR-15s at the gas station. And he's like, ha, he starts laughing. He's like, $300 will barely get you a sandwich. And she comes back with 300 Canadian. And he's like, he gets this look on his face like, okay, like Canadian money is way more valuable than the dollar in this movie. And not that Canadian money is going to be more valuable, but the dollar is crashing in real life. Like, our dollar has lost so much value over the last 3 years. It's ridiculous. Like, it's just ridiculous. The dollar goes nowhere now. Like, $100 bill is the new 20, is what it feels like in real life. But anyways, I could rant about that forever, but I'm not going to. That's for another video. So the dollar's worthless in this movie, and they have to pay for fuel with Canadian, which is crazy. Then I know everyone who's seen the trailer knows the red sunglasses guy. Well, we come to that part in the movie, and this part is totally different than what I thought it was going to be when I watched the trailer. I thought it was going to be totally different than what it turned out to be in the movie. But it was cool. I don't know if the way I had that part pictured would have been cooler than the way it was, but it turned out being really good. You remember he asks, what kind of American are you? Da, 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 da. I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. And it showed how brutal and gory conflict in America could turn, and how quick neighbor could turn on neighbor, and city man could turn on city man, and countryman on countryman. And it just showed how quick of a downward spiral that could happen. Maybe not how quick it could happen, but how it would happen, and it would be people that look like you fighting you, and it was just surreal. And there was executions, and looters were beaten and tied up, strung up, and left for dead. I mean, it was pretty brutal and pretty gory. But there would be stuff like that in a revolution or a civil war. It would be war. I mean, keyword war. It would be bad. It would not be good. All these people that fantasize about a civil war, they're not ready. I hope it never happens. But I have a feeling we're on the doorstep of it. I mean, they pit us against each other. Like, it's just bad right now in America for sure. But let's move on about the movie. Now, some towns and people in the movie were ignoring it and acting like nothing was going on, even though bombs were going off in neighboring towns and shaking the ground. And they were just like, we're just trying to ignore it. And it was wild. And that's how it would be. There would be people and towns, little towns, that would be neutral and staying out of it. And I thought that was pretty realistic the way they put that in there. But even though the towns were out of it, there was still guys on the rooftop with guns to protect their little town, which is how it would be, in my opinion, in a real conflict like that. The movie had some weird music at some points that I didn't kind of jive with. I just didn't think it, like, especially one part when the music pops in. I just didn't like it. I didn't think it went with the movie, but maybe they know something about that music and maybe it does fit there. I don't know, but I didn't think it was. Now the sound was great. That in the gunfights and stuff, there was gunfire coming from all around you, and it really immersed you in the middle of it. It was good. I liked the sound. It was cool. The sets were really good, and I don't know how much of it was actually set and how much of it was CGI, but to see White House as a war zone and the elite, like the president, they had like 20-foot concrete barricades around the White House, which is how it would be for sure. But it was wild. It was wild to see that. And I guess the president had ordered airstrikes on civilians. It was just crazy. Like, it was crazy. And I would hate to see that really happen in America, but I don't rule it out. I think it could happen. And I think we're closer now to something like that happening than ever before, other than when we had a civil war back in the day. But there were some really sad parts and some really sad deaths. I'm not going to spoil it, but there were some really sad deaths that happened in the movie. But all in all, if I had to rate it, I would, I'd say I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I'm going to go back and watch it again with my wife because, like I said, I went alone and watched it. She had to work yesterday, and I wanted to go see it because it come out Friday, and so I went and seen it. And I'm going to go back and see it again, and maybe I'll have a different opinion my second time watching it. I don't know. If I do, I will come out and tell everyone, but I give it an 8 out of 10. If you're a prepper, you should probably go watch this movie. If you're a gun guy, you should probably go watch it. I did see some booger hooks on bang switches. Keep your finger off the trigger till you're on target and ready to shoot. But I also seen some good trigger discipline in the movie too. There was a couple sniper scenes and some building clearing scenes, and the tactics were decent in it. Wasn't bad on that part. But like I said, overall, I give it an 8 out of 10. And I'm going to go watch it again. And if you think you might want to go see it, I recommend it. Go see it. Let me know in the comments if you've seen it. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you think I'm crazy for giving it an 8 out of 10. Let me know if you agree. Just let me know in the comments. If you see anything on the table you want to discuss, let me know in the comments. You can email me at appalachiansmokewagon@gmail.com. Anyone needs to get a hold of me for any questions or anything. I appreciate everyone. We're almost at 500. Let's get there. Share this. Get this video out. If you've made it this far, then you're a real member of the wagon train, and I appreciate you. And I guess that is about it. We're going to end it there. So you know how I end. Appalachian Smoke Wagon out for now.